Hi, I'm Rocky Bornstein, the inventor of the Elastik. Welcome to this Elastik podcast from Balanced Body. In this podcast, we're going to go through some very basic stances and talk about pelvic orientation. When you're in your stance on two legs, let's take a wide position, a little bit wider than hips, and put the stick onto your thighs. In this position, I want the pelvic floor to be facing straight down between the ankle bones in the center of the body. If we shift the pelvis all the way to the right, the pelvic floor then faces the right thigh. If we go just back off from that a little bit, the pelvic floor will be facing the right ankle bone and then coming back to the center of the body. So slide your thighs along the stick all the way to the left. Once again, the pelvic floor is going to be facing the left thigh and come back to the center so that the pelvic floor is facing straight down. Now, to show how that applies to going from double leg to single leg stance, take the stick out in front of you with those shoulder girdles supported and take the stick up over your head as you feel the abdominals come in to support your whole body. In this position, I want you to take your pelvis over to the unstrapped leg, and you're going to push off with the right leg until you feel that your pelvic floor is facing the ankle bone of your standing leg. That will put your pelvis in that neutral position as you just keep it there to bring the other leg up underneath you. And as you're standing in your single leg stance, feel that pelvic floor facing the ankle bone of your standing leg, putting your pelvis in the neutral position and bringing the stick back down. To go into the diagonal, you're going to step through the middle of the triangle and go into a fourth position. Once again, in this position, the pelvic floor is facing straight down. But as you bend your front knee, that pelvic floor once again faces the back ankle bone. You're going to bring the stick up just underneath the rib cage, and just to complete the diagonal, gently fold maybe a quarter of an inch over the stick to bring your back to neutral, and bring the stick up in front of the nose, nose away from the stick, and the stick up overhead, fingertips reaching. And this is your basic diagonal lunge with the pelvic floor facing behind you and towards the left side, ever so slightly. From this position, we're going to go into the front layout. And as we do, that pelvic floor is going to go behind you, facing straight out behind you as you square your pelvis to the front, to the floor, in horizontal with the stick. Bend your standing leg again, putting the back leg behind you. Bring the stick to your hips. And now as you bend both knees once again, the pelvic floor is facing straight down underneath you, equal between both legs. And just to get more of a sense of that feeling, take your stick in the web space between your index finger and your thumb and bring the stick up overhead. Feel pelvic floor to the top of the head, a straight line through your body, and then reach up overhead. Just once again feeling pelvic floor straight down, head and ears up towards the ceiling, towards the stick. Bring the stick down towards your hips again. Bend both knees, brush the stick over the front of the thighs, down over the shin, and out onto the floor in front of you, pushing it away. As you lean out over the stick, take your face and nose away from the stick, straightening your back leg up. And now the pelvic floor reaches up as your leg goes up behind you, over onto the standing leg side, but straight out behind you. Look behind you at your bottom leg, and then look at the stick away from you. Bend both knees. Pull the right side of the stick back, left side back, right side back. And as you come up into your single leg stance, that pelvic floor is facing your standing leg. Stick comes up overhead, and take your balance in single leg stance. And relax back down. And now repeat the entire sequence with the strap on the opposite foot. Thank you for joining us for this Balanced Body podcast.